if you have GOAT in your last name, you gotta be good, because we all know what GOAT means. But our guest here today can say he has GOAT in his last name, and he can say he is one of the GOATs of North Hardin High School. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Junior Goatley, 125 state champion in 2003.
And I've said in other videos, 2003 is the best graduating high school class in the history of high school graduations, because that's when I graduated. And I get to have that prerogative. So, man, I guess salute to being a class of 03. But, man, you are our first North Hardin state champion. We've got all 5 of the John Hardins. We have 1 of the 2 Central Hardins. But North Hardin, man, they really have the wrestling program going on there in Hardin County. 4 team state championships, 1968, 69, 78, and 81, and 36 individual. Of course, you account for 1 of those state championships. Walk us through how you get into wrestling. What draws you to the sport?
Well, to be honest, I had 2 friends that went and tried out for the basketball team because they were about 6'4", and they didn't make it.
Okay.
So they came to the lunch table and they're like, "Hey, we're going to join the wrestling team. Does anybody else want to join?" And I was like, "I don't even know what wrestling is." And they're like, "Neither do we." And so everybody, a bunch of us at the lunch table went, and it was just me and my best friend, Jeff Williams, that ended up sticking with it. But
I got you. Now, were you in high school, middle school?
Yeah, I was a freshman.
Okay, awesome. So that's kind of cool that you're like, "Hey guys, let's all go join the wrestling team," right?
Yeah.
Well, and I can tell you, of course, we would be freshmen the same year, but whenever I was in school, it was not. When I say we were in school way back when. Feels like now. You didn't have all these off-season camps. Some schools did, but not a whole lot. Your Woodfords, your Unions, some of your Northern Kentucky, some of your Louisville had like off-season camps or go to off-season tournaments. But at Johnson Central, it was they made an announcement like a day or 2 before: wrestling practice will begin on this day. If you want to be on the team, go be in the gym at 4:00 on whatever date and for practice. And that was basically it. There was no like you said, no off season, no anything. It was just, if you want to be on the team, here you go. So it's good to see that another school kind of had the same, way of doing things. But do you wrestle all through school? June, do you take any years off? Do you wrestle all 4 years?
Yeah, no, I wrestled all 4 years,
Okay.
freshman through senior. And
Awesome,
we didn't do anything off season or nothing like that, but we did have the coach my freshman and sophomore year. He would run like a kind of like an exhibition thing. So we'd go to the gym classes and we'd set up the wrestling mats, and people could come wrestle us if they wanted to join the team, see what it was like.
That's
I don't know if
cool.
you know Stephen Dow. He was I think he got 3rd place. He was from North. I kind of embarrassed him in the big gym. He thought, because he was 189, so he was a lot bigger than me. He got a little embarrassed, and that's what made him join the wrestling team.
That's good. Kind of like the old Gracie Challenge from back in the 80s and 90s, when they would just invite people over to their garage, and I think it was $100,000 if you could beat them, and nobody ever collected. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. North Hardin had their own. I guess North Hardin, you guys could have put out like a bar of gold there from the depository. Been like, yeah, if you want it, come beat one of our wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I have you in 2002, 125 pounds. You come in 4th place. You would be a junior that year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anytime somebody places at the state, I like to go over, just, let people know that they had multiple years in the state tournament or multiple placers. But yeah, 4th place, 125 pounds.
4th place from North Hardin, Junior Goatley. 1st place from Wayne County, Chris Sanders.
You're a senior coming into that season, knowing you've been on the podium once. Is it is the mentality you have state championship or bust, or just have fun with it, or what's going through your head as a senior?
Yeah, I mean, even though I didn't start wrestling until I was a freshman, my goal was always state champion. It was kind of cool because in the big gym at our school, we have pictures of all the state champions from the past up on the wall. And I just remember, like, every day after practice, we'd go look at those pictures and be like, I want to get my picture up there.
Yeah.
And my picture was the first one to go up there in color. All the rest of them were black and white.
Well, that's cool. That is really, and actually, we have the video from the state tournament from 1969 when the North Hardin team wins the team state championship. There's also a couple of individual state champions, and a lot of the North Hardin alumni or older, wrestlers from back in the day, they've reached out and just said how much they appreciate, actually having the video in color, being able to see, all these years later. So it is kind of cool that maybe we can replace some of those black and white photos from the 1969 team with color images now that people will know, more. Because, like I said, you're our first North Hardin wrestler, but 2003 is your year, 125 pounds. You start off your state tournament with Robbie Hampton from Louisville Doss, and you win that by a tech fall 17-0. So good way to start the tournament. This next name, whenever I was typing out, I almost messed up on it when I was writing it out. You're wrestling Jeremy Heigler, and I almost typed in Hilfiger, like Tommy Hilfiger. I was like, for real, I was like, oh gosh, I better go back and check that. But you're wrestling Jeremy Heigler from Fern Creek. You win that by a major decision, 13-5. You get to the quarters, you're wrestling John Hines from Dunbar out of Lexington. You win that by another major decision, 15-3. You get to the quarters, or the semis, I'm sorry, you're wrestling Ben Hines from Campbell County. You win that by a 5-1 decision, and Ben goes on to get third that year, and he goes on the next year and wrestles Jacob Merton from Lawrence County and gets a state runner-up. And, there's no shame. We met Ben a couple weekends ago as of this filming at the Campbell County alumni, and, he was met him and stuff and told him, I was like, man, listen, there's no shame in losing to Jacob Merton.
No,
Jacob Merton's one of the best wrestlers Kentucky's ever seen, so don't feel bad that you got beat by him. But you get to the finals, and you're wrestling Alan Oliver from South Oldham. Now, we're not going to tell you the score. We have the face-off, we have the match, and the medal ceremony. But had you wrestled Alan before this?
Yeah, I forget where, but I think he beat me by 1, maybe 2. I think by 2. I think I got a takedown at the end and tied it up. The ref called me out of bounds. So.
Oh, I got you. And Oldham, if you're not familiar with the geography of Kentucky, Oldham and Hardin County really isn't that far away, separated by Jefferson, separated there by Louisville. So really not that far of a trip. Has it been a while since you've seen your state finals video?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
All right. Well, good, man. Good. We're going to pull up here and we're going to share our screen. And there it is, looking at the live look at the dungeon. Now, I included about a minute or so of the festivities before like the actual face-off begins, just because this is, I've said in every video at the dungeon, under the lights in the dungeon in Frankfort there was the best atmosphere the KHSAA ever produced, and it's not even close. The glow sticks, the beach balls, the footballs, the paper towel rolls being thrown, it was just an event. You knew this was a big-time event.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, and it was, the walkout thing with the let's get ready to rumble and all that stuff. It was fun to be part of that. Yeah,
and speaking of that, we are going to go back to the dungeon. Here we go. Turn down the volume because it's so loud. There you see they're bringing the lights onto the main mat. The glow sticks flying around there. And if you were never at the dungeon, right there behind the scoreboard where you're seeing, that's where the practice mat was, and that's where all the finalists would kind of run out from. The fans were right on top of you, felt like. The one mat right there, it made it feel like this felt like a true state championship event.
Yep, sure did.
And they got to play the 90s Jock Jams opening track here, which it's so classic now.
Comes into our house and pushes us around. It's your game. Let's do it.
I'm getting goosebumps, man, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is the best.
For the 2003 Kentucky High School Athletic Association State Wrestling Championship Finals. And now, introducing the finalists for the 2003 Kentucky State Wrestling Championship. At the 125-pound weight class, from South Oldham, a senior with a record of 39 inches, Alex Oliver. From North Hardin, a senior with a record of 36 inches, Junior Goatley, Jr.
There you come out, man. We'll cut right into the match.
At the 125-pound weight class, from South Oldham,
Yeah, I still remember almost every bit of this, even though it's been a while. He gets the first takedown. He had a really nice takedown.
Trying to tell you to back off there just a second. All right, come in here, get set. Now, I'm not familiar who these referees are, so if you know who they are, put them in the comments. So you got the red anklet on. Right here from neutral, what's your go-to takedown? What are we looking to do?
I mean, I'm always doing a single leg. And I usually shoot first, but he hit this first one on me real nice. I can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing was nobody could really hold me down. I could stand up whenever I wanted. So
I
I
got you.
always felt I had an advantage there. Apparently I did shoot first. I just didn't get it. Yeah, it went out of bounds. That's kind of my strategy is best defense is offense. Just shoot first, and then you don't got to worry about getting taken down.
That's true. That's true.
And I wasn't afraid to shoot because worst case scenario, I ended up in a front headlock, and I had no problem getting out of a front headlock. So.
Right. And there he shoots in, gets a nice little dump on you. Trying for like a near fall count, but you're not having any of it.
I was used to being right there. I was never really worried about back points.
Okay. There you go. Spin out. Good job right there, getting yourself free. So you've just been taken down. Does your mentality towards the match change? Are you still sticking to your game plan, or what's going through your head right here?
I'm ready to get a takedown. I usually try to get one before the end of the match. I'm pretty sure I do, or before the end of the period. I mean, but I was concerned with how he got that takedown on me. It was good.
Yeah, that was a good takedown hit, but you hit one right there, pretty slick. So now you're up 3-2.
Yeah, and the thing is, and you'll hear it. I remember people yelling stalling, but I had no problems keeping people down either. You'll see I can hold him down for 2 minutes, and I could do that to just about everybody. So
and you win the toss there and you defer, he's going to take down. So you had a little bit of time there on top, wrestling before. Did you kind of have a game plan? Okay, this is what I can do to him on top, or this is what he's susceptible to on top, or was it just take it as it come? Or
You know, I really did. People were yelling Stalin, but I really did feel like I was gonna. You'll see. I really felt like I was gonna get him on a almost like a 3/4. It wasn't quite, but that was usually my go-to from the top. It didn't really matter if it was him or anybody else.
okay, now that's. I mean, it worked for you, whatever you done. So
Yeah, but you'll see. It wasn't quite a 3/4. Just always it worked on some guys and some guys it didn't. I think Allen was a little stronger than me, but
mm, who do you have in your corner here with you at this tournament?
oh, I think it was Coach Newman. We didn't have a coach, and we were going to lose our wrestling program, and she stepped up, became the head coach, and then a guy that had wrestled for North back in the '80s. His name was Mike Eck.
Okay.
His son Matt Eck was a really good wrestler. He was a few years younger than me. I think he ended up getting a 3rd place finish one year. So,
Well,
yeah,
I didn't know that about the North Hardin program. I had no idea.
yep, it was almost gone.
Wow.
I had 3 coaches in 4 years.
North Hardin has one of the best traditional programs in the entire state.
Yeah. But yeah, we struggled by keeping a coach while I was there.
Wow. All right, so he's going to hit you for stalling right there. Whenever I was cutting this down earlier or yesterday to make this video for us, I was like, I can't believe he hit you for stalling right there because you were working.
Yeah, I know. I think they just they don't like that I'm on that ankle so much, but I don't care. If you're good enough, you should be able to stand up. I mean, I promise you nobody held me down for 2 minutes like that. So I was
So you're trying,
right
looks
there?
like for a near side cradle.
Yeah, and I always just felt like he was about to go, so that's why I didn't mind. Like, yeah, the stalling could have gone like 50-50 on it. I wasn't upset about it.
So it's your choice. You're going to take down. You can hear the crowd cheering for you right there. So he's going to optional start you. So you get your 1. You're up 4-2 now. And it also should be said, South Oldham, they were way ahead in the team score right here. They end up winning the team title.
Yeah, they had a really solid team that year.
I think they put 13. They brought all 14 to the state tournament, and they put 13 on the podium. So you get a half Nelson there, running a pretty deep half.
Yeah, and then I mean, right here, I mean, what is it, 6'2"? I already.
Yeah, 6'2".
Yeah, I was convinced I had it by then. I think he does pull something kind of slick on me here, but I think I got lucky.
And I believe you get another stalling call there, and he gets a point for that. And I was like, whoa. So the score now should be 6-4 with you on top, 31.3 seconds left.
Is it 6-4? I think it's
Yeah, well, with that stalling, it made it 6-4.
okay. Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, there's 30 seconds left. So,
Yeah.
oh, here, I think he pulls like a Peterson on me almost.
I was gonna say, like, oh, but smart right there. You don't give up any near fall, and if there's,
No
I think he
control.
does give him one, but I don't think they put it on the scoreboard. So here's the funny part of the match. They accidentally raise his hand first, and you're like, wait a second, I won this match, and he corrects himself and raises the right hand, the right wrestler's hand. So you win by a score of 6-4, state champion. And of course, got the medal ceremony. And while they're going through some of these medalists here, we've got with, of course, 119-pound from Prestonburg, Nick Chafin, Scott Cooper from LaRue County, Brent Gibbs at 215 from Oldham County. We're going to try to do a memorial video for the heavyweight from this year, Zach Brewer from Dunbar. He passed away in 2020, I believe. Got a couple other 2003 guys lined up, just getting it set to meet with them.
Yeah, I remember. I think who won the 35 was Brad Cooper. That dude tore everybody up.
He was tough. And there's friend of the channel, Heath Chafin, getting his 4th place medal.
Yeah, he was my other loss that year. He beat me right at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, his twin brother Nick is on the channel, state champion at 119 this year. You can tell Allen's a little dejected that he didn't pull it off because his team was, rolling in the team standing and team state champion and all that. But sometimes, man, you run up against better competition. It happens.
Yeah.
And there you are, man, taking your rightful place on top of the podium.
Yep, that was a good time.
Beautiful to see.
Hold on, guys.
Ethan Buell wants none of it, and that's where the video ends. So it sounded like you remembered it pretty much, second for second.
Yeah, just about.
You're one of the first people that we've met with that's been able to, pretty much call it out without even watching it beforehand. So kind of impressive. So, man, do you have anything you'd like to say or add, to wrap this one up, or anything anybody you'd like to shout out or anything like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that without, my coaches, Mark Skeeters, Mike Eck, and especially Joe B. Joe Burrows is still very active in the wrestling community. He does No Walks Wrestling in Hardin County. He's had quite a few wrestlers come out of his program. But yeah, if it wasn't for those guys and Miss Newman stepping up to fill that head coach spot, I wouldn't even have the opportunity to do it. So I will always be grateful to those people. I
think that is an underlying story that you let us know, because, I for real had no idea that it was, I don't want to say in that bad a shape, but that close to being canceled or that close to not having the season, just because, the tradition that North Hardin has. And you mentioned Mark Skeeters. He's now a referee. I've refereed numerous tournaments with him, middle school, state, U state, state duels, all that kind of stuff. And just about anything you need to know about North Hardin wrestling, he can tell you.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
He's got a lot of respect for Mark. But, man, that's all that I have. Thank you for being here, man. For real, we've been trying to get this lined up for a while, but we finally was able to get it. I don't want to use the pun. We were finally able to get it pinned down tonight, but it's just the way it worked. We were able to get together, and I'm glad we were able to do it. But, guys, that's all that I have. William, man, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the mats.